beating somebody like Roger in this setting is giving yourself a chance.
You've got to love this Kevin Anderson's attitude.
And I sort of just kept on telling myself that, like, you know, I'm in this match right now.
It's a couple of match points for Kevin Anderson. What a remarkable comeback.
Beating somebody like Roger here at Wimbledon, it's easy to get super excited about it. You know, obviously very pleased to get the win. You know, obviously be a match that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Today we savour this man's heroic character and tennis.
I'm through to the semis, so that's great. And it's also about preparing for that match, both physically and emotionally. So you try sort of come down as much as possible. You know, don't have the luxury to, you know, keep celebrating because the tournament's still going. And, you know, I've given myself a shot to, you know, play in the final. So I'm really excited about that.
You must think that you've got it in your armoury to go on and get this Grand Slam.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you try to stay in the present as much as possible. I think there's a lot of belief that I can do that, but it's a very, you know, important skill to, you know, just stay in the moment as much as you can. So what I need to do right now, and that's sort of how I approach it as much as possible, because, you know, your mind can really run with things quite a lot, and, you know, that doesn't do you too many favors. So, as I said, right now I'm very pleased to be through to the semis, and I was just like getting ready for that match.
Wow, it was an incredible performance to see Roger on the back foot in so many of those rallies. I guess the question is, and I know he's working with the sports psychologist Alexis Castori, but will there be a letdown after a big win like that?
That's the big question. Normally, yes. You're beating Roger Federer after being done Switzerland and a match point. You're in your first semi-final Wimbledon. Who wouldn't have a letdown? And so he has to fight his inner demons a little bit of saying the tournament isn't over. I shouldn't be satisfied. But that's a hard thing to do because, let's face it, it did what it did.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've been looking at the forehand under pressure.
Yeah, well, he's got a massive serve, we know that. But let's have a little look at his forehand, and particularly the damage that it did against Federer. He's got three different types of forehands here, and this is a massive point. This is going to give Federer a match point. Federer, you know, he's got Roger on the run, and look at that. That was literally in the corner of the court. That was to save match point. 1 inch out, Federer had another match point. This one is to give Federer 2 match points. Great pickup. Federer's done the right thing. Come on the net, put pressure on him. He's whipped that one across court for a winner. No fear. Here's another one to give Roger 15-30, get close to the end here. And this time the inside out one. Just massive power on his forehand. He gets around it, he's got a big serve, but here's a little stat. The outside of the purple here is where Anderson's been hitting the ball. That's close to the line. He's been going for the lines, and the average speed 81 miles per hour. That's faster than Del Potro, who most regard as the hardest hit forehand in the game. Anderson's hitting the ball averagely harder than Delpo and near the lines. We can see the darker green there. So, you know, he's definitely more than a serve, and when that confidence is full, I'm not sure he's going to get an awful lot of forehands and rallies that did get his teeth in today. So it's a completely different ball game, but you know, he's full of confidence, and it's, you know, he's going for the shots, he's going for the lines.
Yeah, when you mentioned his opponent, John Isner, he's very confident too. He hasn't had his service broken so far in the championships. Let's hear from him.
Big serving John is 1 match away from a Wimbledon final.
I feel like mentally as strong as I've ever been. Admittedly, in the past, there were some times where I haven't been as strong mentally, but I think that comes with experience. And I feel like I'm in a very good mental state along with a good physical state. So I'm going to go out there and give it my best, and I'm not going to beat myself mentally.
It was so interesting to see how fired up you got on court, but your box did as well. Do you take energy for them, or are they reacting to your emotions?
It works both ways. I think they draw some energy from me, and I certainly draw some energy from them. It helps me gain some self-belief, I think, when my box is really into it.
You have known Kevin Anderson for a very long time. Give us the sort of background between you and Kevin.
Yeah, we've known each other for about 14 years now. Our friendly rivalry goes back to our college days. He was at the University of Illinois. I was at the University of Georgia. We played 3 or 4 times in college, and we played a bunch on the Pro Tour as well. So I mean, he's probably the person I've played the most of anyone on tour. We know each other extremely well. We know each other's games. It's going to be a fun moment for both of us. We never could have imagined when we're playing college tennis that we'd be playing in the semifinals of a Grand Slam. Couldn't have scripted that.
Are you able to enjoy this moment as well?
Yeah, I am, certainly. I'm able to enjoy it, but I'm not trying to enjoy it too much right now. When this tournament's over, I'll be able to reflect back on a lot of things, but right now it's business at hand. I'm looking forward to it.
And it's interesting, the University of Illinois Tennis just tweeted this. Look at those two. This was back in the old college days. 2007. Isner won that one in straight sets. He's got the bigger trophy. It's a huge trophy, as you can see. But I think, Boris, college tennis, it's a good grounding. It's as competitive as the Pro Tour.
It is a very good system in America because young men get the education and can play their sport. I think it's a wonderful system. And then once in their mid-20s, they can start the Pro Tour. And a lot of great talent came from American colleges.
And also, I mean, what is this? I mean, for John Isner, he's only played on centre court once. That was during the London Olympics. And first Grand Slam semi-final. This is a huge occasion for him.
It's huge, and John had a great year. He won the Miami Masters in March. And he settled down with his wife. They're expecting a baby in September. And I think with his game, he needs to be mentally very stable, very balanced. Because, as you said, he hasn't dropped the serve yet.
Yeah.
We're in the semi-final. That's unheard of. That's Sampras-like. That's Federer-like. And that's the danger for Anderson today, is that Isner can build around his serve and take chances on the return.
Yeah, he's actually only faced 7 break points in the 6'10", plays 6'8". This is going to be a big match, isn't it, in all departments?
Yeah, there's no doubts about it. Whoever can break serve. I mean, I think it's probably safe to say there's going to be a tiebreaker at some stage in this match. But it's going to be a patience. Just to hang in there. There may be games where there's barely a rally, but it'll be very, very tense at certain times.
Reception for both players, and John Isner having a look around. I'm sure he went and had a look on centre court just to get a feel for it, because it is important, isn't it? Centre court has a different feel to it. I don't know why the court's the same size, but it feels different.
No, it's a bit like going to church. You want to soak in the atmosphere. It's tennis players go a lot with vision, and they have to feel the pace and see the distance. And also Anderson hasn't played much on it, so it'll be new territory for both players. Neither has been in the semi-final, so there'll be some nerves that go.
I suppose Kevin Anderson, having got to the final of the US Open, probably at least he's been in this situation before, and that's an advantage in some way.
That's correct, and so he has success in a major, but Wimbledon is still different. Yeah. We call Wimbledon the big daddy of them all, and once you go far here, it just changes your life.
Yeah. And you've been looking, Pat, haven't you, at the second serve of Isner, which has been key in this tournament?
Yeah, well, particularly against his last match against Raonic, which was quite interesting, where he served the second serve. These are body serves. Now, Raonic is a big guy. He's actually not even as big as Anderson, but his second serves, and they're really speed 119, 120 mile an hour, so they're hardly slow serves, but right into the body. And the bigger guys like to hit the big wingspan. They can reach anything, but to jam them up and look at that, right in. And that's something that I think he will employ today. It was very successful in the last match. And look at that, 40%, right in the middle of those two boxes. That's where those serves against Raonic were. A big man with a big reach. He's playing another big man with a big reach.
Yeah.
That's successful. Why not try it again today? And I think I'd be very surprised if we didn't see a variety of body serves as well.
Well, we're going to see some big hitting, aren't we? As we've seen, John Isner, he's a tall guy, and technically, how good is his serve, Boris?
Well, because of the size and the length of his arm, he gets to an incredible angle. So he hits down. He doesn't have. Most people have to hit over the net. He just has to hit down, and so he takes the arm pretty quickly up. He doesn't let the ball drop very much. So it's a very quick service motion. It gives you even less time as a returner to react.
And also, he's not just a server either. He can back it up with a forehand, can't he?
They play very similar in actual fact. They've got big serves and big forehands. I think Anderson's probably a little bit better mover, but it's going to be about how to break serve, and they're going to be going towards the backhand side. The Anderson's backhand held up really well against Federer under pressure, and you'd think, okay, big server like Isner, he must have been, in the quarterfinals a couple of times, surely. No, never been past the second week. And that's mainly because, he hasn't been able to return. But that's been a good part of his game this tournament, and he's going to need to.
And I think he came of age in Miami in a way. That's when he started to believe. Talking with his coach, David McPherson, he just said, if I can be loose, because he used to get frustrated and tight and nervous in a match, if I can be loose, I can be a force. That's what he said, and that's what he's got to do.
Very much so. That's why it's so important from the coaching point of view that to tell the player what he needs to do. Some listen, some don't. I mean, with John Gisner's case, obviously they work beautifully well together now, because with the luxury of not losing your serve all the time, you should be super relaxed on return, because you can take chances all the time because you're not going to lose your serve. So I think he has grown again. Private life is important for him. It balances him out, because ultimately tennis is a mind sport.
Yeah, it is, and of course we have to remind everyone that he had to save match points against Rubens Benelmans in the second round here, and he won that match in 5. He's come through a few 5-setters, he has. But what about rhythm today in a match? They're not going to get a lot of rhythm out there, are they?
There's not going to be a lot, no. You wouldn't think so, and it is going to boil down to some tiebreakers and some big points, and it too holds up. When you get that